Peace, family, peace. Welcome to another episode of the OG Wisdom Podcast with me, your brother Tad, and my co-host C Gutter will be joining us shortly, and our sister K Fighter. Now, many people know that we're FBA over here, Foundational Black Americans. Just no knock on nobody bloodline or heritage. We just gonna recognize and represent our own. But what's been going on in the news lately? The president of Ghana recently paid a visit to the United Nations, and he asked for reparations. He asked for reparations on the behalf of Ghanaian people and most of West Africa. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're going to have to unpack. So as I wait for my co-host to come in, I really want y'all to think about that. Who deserves reparations? Is it the descendants of the slavery system here in the United States? Is it everybody abroad? Who should get it and where should it come from? I think this is the dividing question that's being asked, but definitely need to be answered. So salute to everybody who taps in. Rock out with us. While we wait on my brother C Gutter. C Gutter, where you at? When you're ready, give me the thumbs up, bro. All right. Peace, Gutter. What's the word, family? How you
crack on?
Say it again?
I said, what's cracking?
Oh, man, I can't call it. If I call it, I'll spoil it. But shout out to our usual suspects, our sister Tish, 76. Be remiss if we didn't shout out our sister Farnessa, always holding us down like gravity. And shout out to Ra, 119,998. You know what I'm saying? Gutter, have you been following what's going on with the president of Ghana paying his visit to the U.S. as well as the UN?
Oh, to the UN? I seen some of it. I didn't see. I only saw a clip, but I think United States, Israel, and some other country was the only the only couple countries that didn't vote on the resolution that they had.
Yeah, I can't wait till Sister K Fighter come in here because they talking about the decision, but you know what they didn't address, Gutter? And I'm talking about the people. They didn't address the explanation why they didn't. And I thought that was very, very important because I seen black people celebrating that black Americans aren't getting reparations. I'm like, yo, is that how far we sank as a quote unquote community? For a group who say they all about black unity and black folks, I don't see what's so celebratory about black people not getting their compensation for labor's unpaid. And I think when we talk about reparations, we're not just talking slavery exclusively. We're talking about Jim Crow laws. We're talking about redlining. We're talking about monies that was stole via the Freedmen's Bank. We're talking about all of the massacres, things that weren't addressed and remedied for what black people in America had to endure. Now, meanwhile, we took the ass whoopings. Other people get to come and reap the benefits of all that we had to put up with. And I don't think it's fair. I don't think nobody would think it's fair. We do the work, you get the compensation, and then you just go about your life like nothing happened. Meanwhile, again, we're constantly getting ignored. So what happened here, I want our sister to come in because not only was she there, but she also was at the protest. They organized the protest and let it be known that homie's presence wasn't truly wasn't received. In fact, let me give you a brief clip, Gutter, and then we'll come right back. I'll play a couple of joints of our folks outside agitating, letting it be known that this stuff ain't gonna stand. Hold on, can you hear it? Let me get the volume cracking over here. Hold on. All right, volume. Gutter, you couldn't hear it, right?
No.
All right, here we go.
I was complicit. You don't get to sell us twice. Kwame Ansa was the chief that worked with the Portuguese to build Elmina Castle in the slave dungeon. You don't get to get reparations on the people you sold. Go home. Go home. These are Black American ancestors. Your commanders are complicit in slavery. They worked with the white supremacists that enslaved us on this land. You don't get reparations for a business deal going down.
What y'all know about Order My Steps?
Order My Steps?
Yeah, Gutter. that was part of what went on. But then there's more. There's more. I'm going to bring up another clip real quick. And hopefully our sister Brooke will be able to join us today. You know, I see her in the chat. Shout out to the Queen Anusa, always holding us down. And our brother Che Black. Yeah, family, we thank you for your patience right now while we pull this all together, because I do want my sister Keisha to come in here, and I do want my sister Brooke in here, so they can really give you the lowdown on what really took place and why everybody was so aggravated. I mean, here it is. Ghana came over here and asked for reparations for themselves, as opposed to supporting what the brothers and sisters over here already have going on, which we think is disingenuous. Sister Key, what's the word, sis?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, I hear you clearly.
Can you hear me, Gutter?
Yeah,
I hear you clearly, sis.
Okay, good. So I think Sister Brooke is coming in. I'm going to retext her the link just in case. So she is coming in. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I sent her the link as well. But now, sis, I played a clip from TikTok. Give some context to the people of what we just witnessed and what prompted y'all to organize this protest.
Well, like I said on our show, you know, it was a week-long series of things that took place. We had the reparations hearing on Staten Island on that Saturday. And I got a message from our sister BX. Shout out to BX, the gatekeeper, coordinating a protest about Ghana coming not only to the UN, but in particular, the Negro burial ground, or what some people will say the African burial ground. So we were able to have a series of Zoom calls to get some folks together. You have folks who came in from out of state. Shout out to Keita and Foundational and Brother Simon and everybody who came from out of state to be a part of that. First of all, no one should come and lay anything on the grave sites or the bones of our ancestors, in particular without our permission, right? And that was done. And so that was the gist of the protest. Just letting them know that that's not acceptable. You don't speak for us. You don't have the authority to do such a thing. And then, you know, the people came out and let them know there were some politicians and some Democratic shills who were there as well. Jamani Williams got pulled up on, Al Sharpton, and Dr. Ron Daniels. Dr. Ron Daniels was there with a Pan-African delegation, along with Al Sharpton. Now, this man also sits on the commission of the New York Reparations, so there is a conflict of interest here. Jamani Williams, who was there a few months prior, was at the Brooklyn Historical Society trying to grandfather himself onto our claim. He also was at the church in Bed-Stuy saying pretty much the same thing. Now, his wife is the legal counsel for the commission, right? So there is so much conflict of interest here that we have to deal with. They are all shields of the Democratic Party. We all know that Al Sharpton is a shakedown artist and an informant. And, you know, you had people who would say, well, he was a former informant. Now, both of you gentlemen have been previously incarcerated. You don't tell the feds when you don't want to speak no more. They tell you. That's how the game goes. So, you know, he's been doing this. And, you know, so anyway, you had other politicians and other Pan-Africanists out there allowing this thing to take place. And it's problematic. And a lot of people move, like we always say, with antiquated information. And especially if it comes from two sources, you know, nobody wants to hear any pushback, as if these two sources could not have made mistakes or were dead wrong on certain issues. And I'll say it here today, that is Dr. Clark and Dr. Ben. They study a particular discipline. That is not the whole story. That is part of a story. And people ran with part of a story without giving fortitude to Dr. Chancellor Williams, who said on many occasions, and even in his book, his famed book, Destruction of African Civilizations, he said Africa was complicit. He said that Africa must atone for what is done. And he is not holding European power solely responsible. And, you know, in the idea of Pan-Africanism, Africa could do no wrong. And they've done a hell of a lot wrong, continue to do wrong, and it's problematic on many issues. They are mad because they made a bad deal. You know, you gave away gold for trinkets. You gave away human beings for trinkets. And just like the white T-man, I don't forgive them either for what they've done. And they shouldn't have forgiveness. Now there is a con game that is going on with the nation of Ghana, using its own citizens as a tool of data for the European Union against the US. You know, and then how does, you know, the perpetrator seek a claim of victimhood? We are not your descendants. Our ancestors whose bones lay at their burial ground have nothing to do with you. And knowing my ancestors, you know, they wouldn't allow such a thing. You know, your people ain't from here, and your people ain't in that graveyard either. That some people call a burial ground. So it's a lot of things at play here. Hopefully we'll get to touch on all of it. In the meantime, I'm going to resend the link to Brooke.
Yes, I want to play a short clip. I mean, the video is 15 minutes. But this is something that a lot of people may not know what's going on over there, to your point about what's happening with Ghana. Let's listen to the news report and we'll come right back to it.
Okay.
The first African nation to sign a formal defense partnership with the European Union. Ghana's new deal with the bloc seeks to strengthen cooperation in counter-terrorism and address Islamist insurgency threats both to Ghana and the wider West Africa sub-region. With several African countries heavily reliant on fertilizer imported from the Gulf, there's been a knock-on effect.
Right, I wanted to show that real quick, sis, because of course they go deep into the story. But Ghana did sign on to the European Union as almost what do you call a satellite base, if you will. And as she stated, to watch any insurgents, anybody who may become terrorists to the European Union. But what does that mean? Who would they consider to be terrorists? Could it be Burkina Faso? Could it be the Sahel states practicing self-determination and Ghana signing on to pretty much be the watchdog? And I think that's pretty much in alignment with what you're saying about Ghana pawning off its citizens, because from what I'm seeing in the reports, they're also gonna get rid of the visas for Ghana so that you don't need a visa to go to Ghana. Now, me being a person who visited Ghana several times, I know that you need a visa as well as the yellow fever shot. You know, all of these hoops you got to jump through, but the two things you definitely need, all the other shots you really don't need. You can have that wave, but you definitely need your yellow fever shot and you need your visa. But now they're pretty much opening up the borders to keep African migrants out of the European countries. So if you want to go someplace, go to Ghana. We're going to invest our money. We're going to develop that land in exchange of helping Ghana build their military to pretty much be a watchdog for the European Union. And that's the gist of what I'm getting from the reports I'm seeing and reading. Is that pretty much it, sis? Is that what's happening?
Yes, and they're also allowing the European Union to not only add bases there, but also be the controlling force of Ghana. So it will still serve as what do you call it? A commonwealth, if you will. That's what they're doing. And right now, it's problematic for its own citizens because Ghana's citizens are protesting against the Nigerians who were there, saying they're taking their jobs, they're driving the cost of employment away, they're driving away jobs, they're driving up the cost of living. Even Black Americans who have transplanted themselves there, the Ghanaians are protesting and saying that, you know, pretty much that those Blacks have become gentrifiers and are raising the cost of living because we come from a particular standard. I'm not living in the alleyway where you can shit in the street. That's just not happening. So it's changing the demographic of Ghana. But I found a video the other day of the former AU speaker saying that they only want our brain power and our dollars. You see, Forbes have predicted that by 2050, Black Americans will amass $50 trillion in spending power. And they want that spending power. Again, only what we can give and do for them, nothing that they can give and do for us. The double standard, treating as foreigners as they should. You know, when Black Americans go over there, they charge you a higher price. They treat you as a foreigner, as they should. But, you know, this delineation movement have shaken up the world. And everybody is on a, what do you call that? A seesaw going up and down, up and down, up and down, because they can no longer attach themselves to us or use our lineage for their benefit. And so, like I said, you know, a couple of months ago, this is going to be a pull-up year. And so we've already begun to do that. So just get ready because this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Gutter, anything you want to add on from what we just played?
Like, I don't have too much information from what I've seen. Basically, neocolonialism at its finest.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's but you got too many dudes on the continent that speak out. Like they also protesting the government too. They was doing that when I was there. And that was in 2020. Right. That was what, fucking 21, 20?
Yeah, about 2021, 22.
Yeah, they was already protesting. The younger cats was already protesting. Yeah. Was saying like, yo, you said this. Because they got rid of one crooked dude, and the dude that say he wasn't crooked was crooked too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, yeah, so that's a normal thing. And like you said, with the countries that are self-determined, they being the spies for the crackers for them. Yeah. Against them. You know what I'm saying? Against them. So
Yeah, because they right in the region where, you know, they can be crossed to the Sahel.
And they also have the ports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
Right.
same course they sold us through,
Yeah,
right?
so they can kind of, the Sahel region don't have ports.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they can kind of block their shit, but they doing their shit so good. They doing everything in-house.
Yeah.
But now they having problems too because a lot of the men have left that area to fight on behalf of Russia in its war with Ukraine. And a lot of those African men are crying, saying they got screwed. They want to come home. A lot of their families are pleading, you know, for them to come home. But again, I don't understand why, they think that one white man is better than the other, or the Asian man is better than the other. If they were smart and wise, look at America. Black Americans, in particular, Black American men, have gained military power and prowess for the U.S., right? They needed us in every war, and we've been successful in fighting every war since the American Revolution. They should have reached out to those men and women, in particular the retired, for guidance. You got people like our brother Nick Irvin that they could have employed to help them. But again, this is just what it is with Africa. And so, for me, I see it as a power play, and they too are going to be screwed in the end. Because if you look at the history of what China and Russia has done in other regions, like the Caribbean and South America, you're going to get played. You're going to get played eventually. Like, they have full autonomy, the Chinese. They out there beating men in the street, and the men won't do nothing. They just stand there and let them beat on them. Like, that's crazy. We would never allow that.
Ever.
Black men here will break a bone of some Chinese dude smacking them up in the middle of the street. And also, you have the Arab who is still enslaving, in particular, Black women, giving them jobs over there in Dubai and, Saudi Arabia and all these different places. And these women can't come home. Like, that's a sucker move to me. Like, you go from one white man to the other one. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I just go by what I see and what the history tells me. It's going to crumble.
Yeah.
It's going to crumble because, they already taking your men and telling you got to give up these men to fight in a war for them. Like, what kind of game is that? They should be building up their military. What you got to go over here and fight for them for? So your leader traded you on behalf of some improvements? That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. But hey, I don't live here. Let them people handle their business.
Cuddy, you was going to say something?
We came in the circumstance where we was always fighting.
Right.
So it's a different mentality.
Yeah.
You have large parts of their population that is still rural. They not getting oppressed. They fucked up. But you know what I'm saying? The oppression come from the government, come from their own kind.
Yeah.
So you used to that. Like, we already know who the enemy is. It's like it's a silent enemy with them. They don't realize the crackers behind them, but it's a black face.
Yeah, almost like that open secret.
Yeah, masses. You know what I'm saying? Like, the masses don't know. It's the motherfuckers in power know they getting sun, but they don't care because they get money.
Yeah. Well, I want to play this video of the president over at the burial ground, and the protesters who wasn't jacking it.
Amongst people of African descent throughout the diaspora, as well as indigenous Africans on the continent, the collective rituals surrounding death are a communal experience, from its announcement to its recognition through ceremony. When you travel to Africa, from the top of the continent to the bottom, in most cities, towns, and villages, you will see notices of people's death, not small obituaries in newspapers, but flyers, posters, and billboards plastered all around. Listed on them is usually a litany of names of the bereaved, not just immediate relatives, but also names of extended family members, whether local or living abroad, and tribal or community leaders. All of these people to whom the deceased belong are listed on the obituary notices. And the funeral services are often attended by people. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's funny that he would mention extended family, right, Sister Keisha? Because do you have that video from the UN? I think yeah, and I'm patiently waiting.
I just sent it to you because I knew that's where you were going.
Could you bring it up? Are you able to share it?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm going to
because Gutta, one of the reasons that it was rejected in the UN is because Ghana's asking for the reparations. And one of the reasons is that, as the president said, extended relatives. And the U.S., like, they're not feeling comfortable giving somebody else compensation for something that hasn't had to them. And in fact, what they were actually a part of. A lot of this is real tricky. It's real deep. And again, all of this is new developments.
Nigeria didn't exist. Senegal didn't exist.
Exactly.
This is just kingdoms. Over there where El Minat, that was the Fonte Kingdom.
Yeah.
The other one in Accra, that was the Ga or the you got to remember these is regions where it was certain people lived at.
Right.
Now, once they got there, motherfuckers getting snatched from all over. You know what I'm saying? So, but these was the king. So none of these countries existed.
Exactly. And in fact, even their borders cut through all of these kingdoms.
You would have to ask, number one, where El Minat, Portugal, then Great Britain. You would ask specific countries.
Yeah.
That's number one. That's like the simplest way where you don't get shit. Like, my nigga, that you don't get shit just off of that. You know what I mean? And you were part, like some of y'all were complicit.
Yeah.
Say everybody, you know what I'm saying? Because the motherfuckers that was getting snatched, they ain't complicit. You know what I mean?
Word. They was the victims.
Yeah. The ruling classes, y'all was complicit.
Mm-hmm.
They say that in their histories about slaves sold or whatever.
Yeah.
So they were definitely complicit. So now all of the places outside of the continent actually are owed reparations by those on the continent as well as the European nations.
Right.
Whether you was from Brazil, United States, the Caribbean, but they got to get it from each one of those countries that colonized those places.
Yeah.
We got a few places we can get bread from.
Yeah, but we have to have the honest conversation. And that's what the pushback is against FBA.
Spain,
because we're delineating, saying we're not doing the kumbaya.
Spain, France, the United States, and England.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all of those were colonized and those were the place and y'all were the rulers that did all the bullshit that y'all did for the 250 years. And then the United States get all of that. Like The time they became the United States, you owe all that from 1776, nigga. We need all from that day. And before then, all them other nations, we need that from y'all.
Right. And they have it.
Because,
they have it.
Yeah, they got it. Because you still get money from all them nations in Africa. Yeah, you still got it. And India and still China. You know what I'm saying? Through treaties and shit like that. So we need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all got it. Put them with, like, I'll wear that crown. Fine.
Sis, you want to play that video?
Sure.
Obvious legal problems. This resolution is also unclear as to who the recipients of reparatory justice would be. The drafters and supporters of this resolution seem to believe it is them. The United States strongly objects to the cynical usage of historical wrongs as a leverage point in an attempt to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who are distantly related to the historical victims. The United States would also like to express disappointment in the arbitrary historical perspective of the text. Trafficking in African slaves began long before the 15th century and sadly continued even after the 19th. These dates were clearly selected for political reasons rather than historical accuracy. All trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement of Africans deserve to be condemned, not merely the political expedient. Also, there are some fake news articles suggesting that the sponsors of this resolution called into question President Trump's support of the Black community. We reject any such suggestions. Indeed, President Trump has done more for Black Americans than any other president and enjoyed historic support from the Black community in the 2024 election. He is working tirelessly to deliver for them and make our country greater than ever. Finally, we must express our deep disappointment regarding the process that led to this text. Throughout drafting, the United States and other delegations offer constructive contributions aimed at aligning the text with the established international legal frameworks. These contributions were ignored. For these reasons, the United States will vote no on this resolution. Thank you.
For that reason. But they did condemn it. So when people saying, oh, they won't even condemn slavery, he just condemned it. A lot of things he said was correct, except
yeah, the last part was he was yapping.
Yeah. Well, I just hate when people throw Trump in there, whether for him or against him. Remove him because he wasn't there in the beginning.
The other shit he said was 100% true.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't use arbitrary, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. And what he's saying, right, Gutter?
You wasn't even a country.
You wasn't even here.
You wasn't even an entity. It was kingdoms. It was kingdoms and empire. So, bro, you can't and damn near every kingdom was responsible.
Right.
Europe, Igbo, Fonte, Ashanti, it's not one because they had tribal wars. So motherfuckers know history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, history is history.
Yeah.
That's simple. I could tell you all of the major empires. I can't tell you all the kingdoms.
Right. But there were a lot of complicit.
Niggas know the major empires, and within that shit, you knew what happened.
Yes. And we knew, and this is why the delineation movement is so important. I wish Brother Divine was on here also so he could go deeper into that, because the pushback that people are getting from FBA is the fact that people are against us practicing self-determination. See, as he also said too, it can't be racialized. That's a part a lot of people miss. So when people talking about reparations, who get it, and people like all Black people should get it, no, because some Black people were complicit in the human trafficking of the prisoners of war. Sister Brooke, what's going on, sis? Human trafficking.
Hello. I'm so sorry. I work nights. I'm sorry.
That's all right, sis. That's all right. I'm trying to figure how could we get your name out your face.
Oh, hold on. I guess I'll just take my name
Go
off.
to the tag. Go to where it allows you to hold 6 spaces. The far right. on the bottom. Click that link so to make it smaller, maybe.
You said, hold on, say that again.
You see where it allows you to change your size right underneath. See if you can make it go to the far right on the bottom.
Far right on the bottom.
Yes.
Nah, I don't have
it
that.
Says 6 or 4. Will you just click to turn this?
Yeah.
Go to the far right on the bottom.
Yeah, the far right, just do one person at a time.
No, oh man, I'm trying.
The way my layout is laid out.
We should
be all right. We should be all right. If Sister Brooke, you could just remove even melanin.
Right.
It'll drop your
all the emails.
Yeah. Just leave out the email. But welcome, Sister Brooke.
There you go.
Hello. Hi. Hi.
Welcome. We thank you. We thank you for rocking out with us. I'm glad you could join us.
Yes.
Sis, the protest. Sister Keisha gave us a little background on what's going on. As I was explaining the gutter, because he said he's not familiar with what's going on, and I was explaining all of this is new developments.
Yes, it is.
All of this is new developments. It's not even a week yet, right? It hasn't even been a week.
No, it had because it happened on Tuesday, so no, it has not been a week
yet. It hasn't even been a full week, so all of this is unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what can I ask? How can I say this to you? All right, you knew the president was coming. Once you found out what was going on with the UN, we just played why they rejected the solution, the proposed solution. What was your thoughts on that? And what is the strategy for us moving forward since we see people celebrating and giving fake information that the U.S. don't support reparations or acknowledge?
I tend to ignore people like that because you're stupid. So, what's the point in talking to you about anything? So that's that. But as far as with us, this is why I see people are confused. I saw a little struggle YouTuber talk about how FBA is sending baddies. Speaking about me, he was very complimentary towards my looks and my brains, as a matter of fact, was saying that how she doesn't understand that Ghana has already been getting reparations and in the form of US aid and everything like that, right? That's what people don't understand. We weren't down there to protest Ghana receiving reparations or Ghana trying to even receive reparations, because you know why? I already knew that this administration, this one right here, wasn't going to give them one penny. So that's why I was at the Negro burial ground and not at the UN. Okay, because if I was there to discuss that, I would have been where they were discussing that. But I was not there because I already knew what was up. They've already dried up their. Ghana is broke. Ghana's US aid has dried up. That year return bullshit ain't working no more. Ain't nobody returning nowhere no more. Ain't nobody paying, as Brother Tad has said before, ain't nobody paying $4,000 to go sleep in dirty sheets in a pissy pool and a dirty tub. Ain't nobody paying that kind of money over there to go do that. Okay? So that has dried up. They can sit there and say whatever they want, and that's all this is. This is a money grab. Ghana is a bunch of mice on a sticky trap. Okay, they're just squeaking for their lives right now. They running around all around the globe with knee pads, begging for money. Okay, because they ain't got none. They would have been bankrupt during the year of return, but Americans was going over there spending $4,000 to sleep in dirty sheets and pissy pools. You know what I'm saying? So this is what Ghana is doing. So I didn't feel the need to protest against that because I already knew what the Trump administration was going to do. You like it, love it, whatever. They wasn't going to give them one penny. You know what I mean? So I didn't have to worry about that. I was there because Ghana, or what was known prior to Ghana, the people that now make up Ghana, those people are known for doing rituals on our ancestors. The 1% that did come over here. I learned that from Sister Keisha. And so the 1% that did come over here, they are known for doing rituals on our ancestors' bones. They did a ritual on us to make us docile for the trip. They did rituals on us so that we can remember who we were and where we came from. They did rituals on us so that our very souls could not remember who we were and who we came from after death. And they wanted to make sure that our souls could not take revenge on them for the betrayal that they did and that they knew that they did. That's why they had to put an incantation on you to make sure that you didn't come back and get them in the next life. And as I say often, that even with white slavery, with white supremacist slavery, at least you are free in the afterlife. But with African slavery, they trying to damn you in this life and the next. So that is why we were over there. I was over there to stop them from doing whatever ritual they was trying to do on our ancestors' bones. They see the ancestral energy that we have. They see how the ancestors are helping us in our fight right now. And they either A, want to siphon some of that energy off of themselves, or B, stop us from having it. And that's why I was there. And that's why I thought it was important when BX brought the spiritual aspect to my attention. That's when I came on board. And so that's what that was about. What people did not see is that after everything was over, I tried to go over there with a black candle to absorb all of the bad juju that they tried to put on our ancestors. However, the federal police said, hell no. But Dr. Reverend Phyllis Coachman, our gangster reverend, she is the one of the founding members of the U.S. Freedmen Project. She was able to go over there with the black candle, with her anointing, and rebuke all of their craziness, okay? Some of us were able to pour libations over. BX left gifts for the ancestors. So we were able to undo everything they did. And as you'll see in one of the videos, I sent them home with a curse. I sent them home letting them know. I said, may the ancestors follow each and every one of you home and get their lick back on you for the disrespect that you have shown here today.
Now, did y'all know that Al Sharpton was going to be out there?
No, I didn't know that.
Did you know, sis?
I pretty much knew National Action Network was going to be there, but not Al Sharpton himself.
Now, you said Ron Daniels was there.
He sure was.
Jermani Williams. What was their position? Were they advocates for reparation, or was this just a supposed homage to the ancestors? What was their purpose for being there, and what was the message they were trying to leave the people?
I'm going to assume they were there just for pomp and circumstance. Because they want to be known and hobnobbing with the president of Ghana. That's what it looked like to me. They was just there because it wasn't a very long ceremony. They were just there just to be there. Because like I couldn't really hear what was going on inside shit, and neither could they. Thanks to us. So I couldn't really hear what was going on inside. I know Jermani Williams came over, tried to talk to us. I really wish I had video of that, but somebody eclipsed me, quite literally, audio and visually. They eclipsed me like a planet. So I don't have video of that, unfortunately. But he came over trying to, and the truth be told, he had a leg that he was standing on. He was trying to tell us that, that if we continued with the sound, that they may shut us down, because it is illegal to have the sound system or whatever. But for whatever reason,
I think I mentioned that too in our Zoom meetings.
Right. But for whatever reason, they let our brother Melrose rock. And so we just kept on going. So that's why he came over there, to tell us about that. And then he wanted to know why we were there. And so I let him know why we were there. And I let him know that those ain't his people's bones in that graveyard.
Right.
And he had to admit that. No, there's not. No, you're not. Your people are where? Grenada, Guyana. I don't know which one of them G countries.
Yeah. Right. And also too, my personal belief, I'm just speaking for me, that the reason Al Sharpton and Ron Daniels was there is because Al Sharpton has been hobnobbing with celebrities going over to Ghana with this whole year of return mess. And Ron Daniels also has an international business taking people over there. And
I didn't even know that.
Well, that's what IBW 24 is.
That's interesting.
So they were there for that reason. Again, being Democratic shills, this is what they do. This is what they do. The National Action Network, and IBW 24, December 12th. All of these folks have been a problem for so long. Actually, December 12th, one of their legal arms was over there too on Roger Warham. So again, these people have always been self-aggrandizing, as Devon explained. Some of them wrote themselves into this crooked bill that they tried to pass to get money off the top, with this. And so, it's a lot that we have to deal with behind the scenes. So it's crazy work. But I sent you a video of Devon since he's not here.
All right. Let me know when you're ready, sis. Gutter, what you said?
These niggas, niggas want theirs off the top.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
December 12th. Damn, I know that fucking.
Yeah.
You know it.
They on NA. They don't know shit.
No, but I'm like, what they all like. I know that December 12th represents something.
Yeah.
Well, they got their name December 12th from a rally that took place up in Poughkeepsie, New York, on behalf of Tawana Brawley.
All right.
Up there on December 12th, they formed an organization out of that.
Yeah, and some
with Viola Plummer.
Yeah, some
Omar Wiley. Omar Wiley is the dude, Brooke, who tried to run up on Melrose when Melrose was out there with Reverend Coachman. That was the old, but they better leave me alone. I start telling them
old fake militant niggas.
Right, Governor.
Nah, I know.
I don't mean a lot. But so, sis, real quick, because I'm gonna play this video you sent, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because there is a divide within the community, right? Pan-African, Black nationalist, foundational Black American. The December 12th movement started on the strength of Tawana Brawley, but I see a lot of their works are centered around reparations. How did this shift from local activism into international activism? Because I remember they were also doing something for Zimbabwe.
Well, if you can't explain to me what local activism they have achieved, then tell me that.
All right, you got the video.
Outside of running their mouths. What is their achievement? Either you have intangibles or you don't.
Tad,
and
what did I say?
Money.
What did I say? What was the phrase that I just said?
Oh, the old school used to be militant.
Fake militant niggas. That's what you said. That's what you had said.
I'm gonna be transparent. I came into the movement through December 12th. Shout out to them. I got put on to them through Dr. Khalid.
That's why you're not there no more.
That.
Yeah.
Because
they fake too.
I done been in situations where we be at the work, the anti-gun
the community work.
They show up, and I'll be like,
we're gonna do what?
Yeah,
nothing.
Like
now, I'm not defending December 12th, but I have read that they did put in some work, and they were suspected of a lot of things back in their youth, and it's just not to rehash to defend anybody or anything. Right. It's just I just find it peculiar.
They attained. That's all.
Exactly.
They was doing shit like on the crack shit, like on the pressing. Yeah, they was on that. I ain't gonna lie. They was on pressing the drug dealers. They
right,
but
shutting down spots on Bedford.
Yeah, but
okay, I'm gonna hold my information from the chat. Chad, I'll tell you offline.
All right, sister.
Oh, tell me too.
Shout out to our brother Che Black, because he asked the question I was gonna ask. Where do we go now as far as gaining reparation if the transatlantic slave trade was legally based on international law?
Oh, can I take that one?
Go ahead.
First of all, you know, people are so, let me take a breath. The fact that people think that our reparations claim is going to come from an international source is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Let me be nicer. Our claim
is working on her media.
Yeah, I'm trying. Right. I'm trying.
You're doing good, sis. You're doing good.
Because I think he was trying to ask a genuine question, so I don't want to.
No, it was a genuine question because
right. So that's why. I could tell. So I don't want to. Y'all don't want to insult him. So that's why I'm like, let me start this over. Let me start this over.
So passionate.
Yes.
It's so passionate.
Our justice claim is with the U.S. government. Period. This international global thing that they have going on is a song and dance. They're not really trying to do anything. Read what it is. And Ghana is so dumb that they just admitted to crimes against humanity because they participated in it. And then you got everyone to agree that it was crimes against humanity, but anybody could come right back around and then put them in those crimes. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't commit crimes against humanity. I'm saying that Ghana didn't even plead the fifth. Okay? So when it comes to our reparations, that is a justice claim that we are going to take up with the U.S. government. We don't need the UN. And even if we did need the UN, I like to explain the UN like a family, okay? A mother and children. The U.S. is Big Mama. All them other countries are the kids. And they can sit around the kitchen table at breakfast time and vote for cake for breakfast if they want to. Big Mama said no. This is the reason why Trump is constantly complaining, saying that why are we the one that's always footing the bill? We are the financial backbone of the UN. Why are we the ones that's always sending troops? We are the military backbone of the UN. They can't make no moves without us. So they can sit there, all the other countries, however many they wanted to say, can agree on that if they want to. Big Mama said no. So that's the end of that. And we at the U.S. Freedmen Project, like we've been doing since before this even came around, which is why Ghana started doing this bullshit in the first place. We are fighting for reparations, okay? We got bills on the table for reparations, delineation, and disaggregation, okay? And so we will continue the fight without Ghana. And if them Caribbean nations is dumb enough to lock arm in arm with the same people that sold them, that's their business and they fault.
And with that, I'm gonna go to this video. Sis, so
/ empires and the kings of Ghana that were slave traders. And so when we talk about that vote that Sister Marcia was just talking about, this is when you find out why the messenger matters. Because when you have a country that was complicit, that was a part of the slave trading conglomerate, you don't get an accurate vote. You don't get a vote that you can accurately assess. Because who said yes and who said no on the merits when the country that brought the resolution is also part of the guilty party? If somebody robbed my house with an accomplice, but the accomplice turns around and robs them, You better not come back to my house talking about he robbed both of us.
Shout out to our brother Divine. Shout out to our brother Divine. You can catch the full episode on Thorough Black Talk Worldview, which we go live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. That is a recording, a pre-recording from Thursday's night show. I wish Brother Divine was here to add on and put more context to that. Pretty much stating that, Ghana helped traffic, enslave folks, but then come back around and say, yo, we want a piece of that money too if y'all giving money out. And they were the accomplices.
They know different than the white dudes who got reparations right after. It's like, different.
Right. Talk about it, sis. Because I don't think, and real quick, I'm going to give you the mic back, right? I don't think people understand, because I keep hearing people say, oh, the U.S. is not going to give reparations. They're not going to give reparations. And I don't think this is why people understand. This is why delineation and disaggregation is so important, because it has been put on an international scale. It has been so broad. And as Sister Brooke and Brother Divine stated at the Freedmen's Project, that has been illegal, an unconstitutional bill, because you can't do it based on race, at least here in the U.S. So since it's so ambiguous, there's no clarity. And in fact, even the representative at the UN stated that when he looked at Ghana's proposal. It's too broad and too ambiguous. So yes, Sister Keisha, speak to that. I ain't want to cut you off, but
no, it's good. It's good. You told exactly what I was going to say. It's too broad and too ambiguous, and you can't have anything race-based in this country. You can't have anything specific. No laws, tangibles specifically for white people. You can't. It has to be lineage or ethnic group, right? Like the AAPI folks, right? They have a hate crime bill. We don't have a hate crime bill, but they didn't say, everybody is under this umbrella of a hate crime bill. So we can have a fight, and I can become unalive in the middle of that fight, and you can call me your kind of N-words or whatever. It won't be considered a hate crime in most instances, right? But for other groups, it can. So when you try to broaden the stroke for everybody, it's illegal to do that. That's why you haven't gained any traction. That's why we haven't gained any traction. And you can talk to judges, and they will tell you the exact same thing, because I have spoken to judges, and they told me, finally, y'all getting it right.
Sis, you were stating, before I cut you off, you were stating that white folks had got reparations. And I think a lot of people aren't aware of that. Talk to that specific point right there. White people getting reparations after our emancipation, not just here, but abroad also. It was an international move. But what was their strategy to get compensated? What was these white men's strategy to get compensated?
Right. Right after enslavement, they felt they deserved reparations because now that their property is gone, the property that helped them become productive is gone, that the country owed them a repair for that. And so they lobbied with legislators during that time and obtained those tangibles for themselves. They received payment.
Now, was it all white people?
No, only those who had people enslaved. Not all white folks. It's just like with the Japanese, right? When the U.S. gave them $20,000 apiece to those who were interned in those camps during World War II, not all Japanese got it. But the thing is, you didn't hear other Japanese saying, well, we got to get some too.
Right.
You didn't hear other white folks saying, we got to get ours too.
Right.
It's only us. Because to all Black people in this country, Black Americans, we have allowed, and this to our own fault, everybody to attach themselves onto us, right? Even when you look at protests that are going on right now, in Durban, South Africa, there are protests that are going on over there. They're chanting the same slogans that our freedom fighters chanted. Everybody leans on us. Everybody, even for your culture, everybody leans on us. And you're so used to doing that, you don't know how to stand on your own. And so now with lineation, you're saying, nah, you got to stand on your own and fight your own battles. Go fight over there. Go get your breath from over there. And that's why I don't like when people try to, include redlining and things like that onto our claim, right? Because that broadens the scope, and then everybody can say, well, I was redlined too. My parents came over in the 50s and blah, blah, blah. And they can attach themselves onto that illegally, but they would try to attach themselves onto that. You got to deal only with that labor during enslavement. That is where the claim is. And when you go outside of that, it becomes a problem. And so that's why other brown people around the globe, are so ticked off, because now they can't attach themselves to that. You wasn't here. Your people weren't here. You can't attach your claim here. You got to go over there and handle that business over there. But here's the thing, and here's why we're so unique. Of all brown people, we don't flee. We stood 10 toes down and fought the suppressor right here, and we still fighting. Your people left. You can't even fight brown people who look like you. So you come from a coward class. We don't. And so a lot of people get pissed off. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. You didn't fight for your tangibles at home. You left for a better life elsewhere. And that's fine. But tell the goddamn truth. You ain't got no freedom fighters in your family. You didn't fight for no tangibles. You left. You left your ancestors' bones in the ground. You left your families over there. Mothers left their children. Now you're a nanny over here in New York. But
taking care of other people's kids.
So don't play this game with me. Don't play this game with me. You a sucker. You fled. Ooh. You didn't fight for a decent minimum wage. Now your people over there is getting $3 an hour. But you come on this soil and you say you deserve $30 an hour, but you fight over there. You're a coward. You come from a cowardice people. I don't care. You may not like what I'm saying, but you're a coward. And you got to stand 10 toes down, fight the Brits, as Gutter said. Fight the French, right? Fight the Belgians. Fight them. Don't come over here. We got our fight over here. We swinging in the ring. We're in the 12th round. We don't need your help. We good over here. Ooh. We got them on the ropes.
Sis, you done laid a lot out. and I want you to answer this question, Sister Keisha, and then I'm going to pass it to Sister Brooke, because you mentioned redlining. Now, from my understanding, part of the reparations bill not only includes our enslavement, but also includes the legal atrocities. And if I'm not mistaken, redlining is being one of them. Now, are you saying we shouldn't even include redlining in the reparations bill, or folks shouldn't just attach themselves to the redlining because what happened to us was unique?
Bill. That's why it's not going to go anywhere. It's unconstitutional. It's not going to go anywhere, because that's why Ghana claimed to say, well, we want some bread too, because you're making it too broad. You're making it race-based. Right. It's not race-based. A specific people were harmed. Follow the model of the Japanese. You got plenty of Japanese who moved to the U.S. and living here as citizens, legal and illegal, as citizens in this country. But you don't hear them say, where my $20,000 at?
Right.
It's only with us. That's because y'all so used to leaning on us for every goddamn thing.
Every time you say that, sis, I think about that night where you almost started.
That's right.
We was going to have to throw hands. Sister Keisha told them people,
we was ready too.
Y'all so used to leaning on us. They said, what? You heard me. Y'all always leaning on us.
I'm not lying. I'm not telling no lies. You might not like the way I say it, and I could be harsh in saying that, but it's the goddamn truth. It's the truth. We don't lean on y'all. We don't mimic your culture. We don't do nothing. I don't see Black American men walking around with mesh shirts and basket weave sandals. We don't do that. That's your thing. It's fun. That's your thing. Rock out. That's your culture. Rock out. We ain't doing that. You know what I mean? We're not walking around here Let me just be quiet. But I'm just saying, y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. We don't do those things, and we don't go as citizens because, like I said before, a lot of Black Americans left the U.S. Some live in Thailand, some live in Japan, some live in the Caribbean, some live in Africa. Where on any of these places? Show me where that Black Americans interjected themselves into the politics, the political arena of those countries to undermine its natural citizens. Where? Only over here. You got Yvette Clark, Jumaane Williams, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, Westmore. All of these people interjecting themselves into our politics and telling us what we should have, what's best for us. You can tell your mama that. Tell your mama that who fled. Tell your daddy that who fled. You came from a cowardice parents. So don't come over here and tell me nothing. Fall in line and do what we say. Or else. And that's it.
Okay.
Do what we say. That's it.
I got into it with my supervisor for saying that to me. he just told me, yo, just do what I say. I said, who are you talking to? A little Russian dude. It was funny. Lord. Of course, I went to disciplinary and all that, but we cool now. It's over. Sister Keisha said, do what I say. Mm-hmm. Sister Brooke, what do you want to add on to that? And then I want to hear Gutter's take on that. Based on what Sister Keisha laid out and talk about the constitutionality of the bill, because though we're talking about the highlights of what was in this week's headlines of the president of Ghana visiting, UN saying there's not going to be any reparations, I want you to peel back the layers and talk about what's going on with the Freedmen Project and the importance of the bill, because what the president of Ghana was talking about had nothing to do with foundational Black Americans here. You know what I'm saying? He could have said that from Accra. So I want you to speak to that, sis.
Well, okay, first, you were talking about inserting redlining in the bill. That redlining is a result of slavery. It is a what we like to, what Keisha and Divine calls, a part of the badges and incidents of slavery. If it wasn't for slavery, there would be no redlining. And that's just the bottom line. And anybody who experienced redlining as a result of immigrating here, you signed up for it. You knew what was going on over here. And you said, sign me up for that because redlining is better than whatever the hell I'm going through in my homeland. And so therefore you got your reparations. You cannot come here and then, complain about it. Because if it was so bad, you could have took your Black ass home. Right. So that's number one. And now with it being unconstitutional, you cannot have anything race-based. This has already been proven with DEI and affirmative action. They've already overturned this. They use DEI and affirmative action for years against us, even though that's a perfect example of them leaning on us. They used what we went through, used our struggle to then help everybody else, to help Mexican people and Hispanic people and West Indian people and Caribbean people and African people and white women and gay people and disabled people. And as Dr. Claude Anderson says, midgets, humpbacks, and whales. Okay, everybody but us. They use DEI and affirmative action to help. And so this is the problem. And this is why we cannot have so it doesn't even matter even if it wasn't unconstitutional, it doesn't serve us. So it is good in a way that the Constitution is forcing us to have these specific term of freedmen. That is our legal status based on our lineage and based on a status that the U.S. government gave us out of slavery. So this is why we used freedmen status. And so that is that. Now, every freedman is Black, but every Black person is not a freedman. And so that's what makes it a qualifying term for reparations. And so then what you can do if you want to, like I said, if President Divine came up, he's a freaking genius for this. he is the one that came up with the language that instead of talking about redlining per se, right, you use that under the guise or under the term badges and incidents of slavery. And then that is how you include things like redlining, how you include things like, mass incarceration, things that may have affected other groups, but they were only affected because it was part of the badges and incidents of slavery. So that is how you can include and further that claim beyond just slavery. But aside from that, what they're trying to do at this reparations commission is to make our claim null and void, or they're trying to do this so that they can make it broad and then challenge the constitutional part on the federal level, and so that way they can include everyone by the Supreme Court. And so this is a problem. Rather than working within the confines of the laws that we already have, they want to try to sit there and fight something else. But see, and what it really is a time wasting, mulberry bush rounding, rigmarole bullshit. That's all it is. They just want to take time and time, because just like I talked about earlier, Dr. Ron Daniels was trying to get his money in the bill. So every time they waste time with a new bill and a new this and a new that, their organizations are steady getting money while we don't, and they not passing it down to us. You understand what I'm saying? So the National Action Network, how many, Keisha talks about this all the time, how many millions and probably at this point, billions of dollars have the National Action Network received? And what have they done in the community except for lie and cheat and steal and make fake boycotts so that they can now shake down these same companies for some more money for them to be donating to them? You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're talking about. We're sick of this. We need our money. And that's why people like Al Sharpton don't speak for us anymore. And I don't care how many you get. And, if Jesse Jackson was alive, I would have called his name out too. But, he left this earth before I got a chance to call him out.
My mom's told me don't trust that nigga because he had a perm. So, and this is my mom. Like,
I don't blame you.
Got a perm. He looked like a pimp,
like a charlatan.
And he used to, like, you got the perm and you got the Sergio Tacchini suit. Nah, I definitely don't trust you.
A fat dude in the workout suit got it.
Nah, he looked like he hustled. Like,
right.
Bro, you
yeah,
gotta think
he had heavy jewelry on too, right?
Yeah, this nigga got the chain with the Sergio
Rakim piece on
and a perm. Come on, my nigga. I'm definitely not trusting you. I already know what you on. You on bread. Jesse too. Like,
yep.
That just like it was just like that's just the energy. The energy, like the talking and the energy. I was like, nah, y'all niggas is because you hear that in the hood every day. You hear somebody that's loquacious, that knows how to talk to somebody.
That's right.
It can convince you of anything. And who's the main niggas? The player, pimp ass niggas.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And the crackheads. Crackheads got games.
And the crackheads, yeah. But most of the crackheads was the pimp player ass niggas that end up smoking.
Got high on their own supply.
Yeah.
So it's funny you brought them up, right, Gutter? Because we're old enough to remember them. I think we're in the generation now who really don't know the history of the Al Sharptons and the Jessies, who really infiltrated the movement and stood by the real ones. And when the real ones got knocked down, they stood tall like it was them the whole time.
And what it is like the newer generation are more polished, so motherfuckers can't read the bullshit as much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got the younger generation of them niggas that's more polished, so a motherfucker ain't catching on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They looking at the aesthetics. He looked like he's successful, so he must know what he's doing.
Know what he
I don't know.
Well, speaking of that, they pulled up on Umar too in Philadelphia. What was it, last night? They pulled up on him too.
So you got the video, sis?
He ain't get whooped.
I'll look for it in a minute. Yeah, no, he didn't get whipped because they had it barricaded off.
He ran.
Like they was telling them to get out of here and go find your daughter who getting high on Snapchat. Yo, oh man.
Get high on Snapchat.
That's what they said. I don't know.
Like what high? What get high?
His
She's daughter.
Like what get high? Like get high.
Or what kind of high? What kind of high? What? Yeah.
And how old is she?
I don't know.
She's grown.
She grown.
Yeah.
Oh, that means she probably fucking with that powder on there. She probably fucking with that Tony.
She might be on whatever her father on. Shout out to
right, because he be sniffing a lot.
Did y'all see the Breakfast Club interview he did? Hey, I wonder why I call him Dr.
You know, I thought about you immediately because you stay calling him Dr. Sukiyana. He said, well, she could have my king. She could have my little king. I said,
God damn, you thirsty for her?
He is. He is. He said she's actually conscious. This woman who be sitting there talking about she eating behind. She eat behind, she eat behind, she eat behind. That's all she says. And that's who you want kissing on your king.
Eat somebody's groceries and kiss the baby.
Yo, let me tell you something. Good, the more power to them. I hope more power to him because he gonna have problems with the next baby mama because he talk about, oh well, I didn't know she was gonna do like that and da 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 da. You ain't got a good picker. Clearly. You ain't picked the good on the first one because he said that she the one who raised that one that's on the internet right now. And now you're going to pick Sukiyana. We see how you got into you was with the conscious stripper. You making bad decisions. The conscious stripper. Oh, that's how he lost the big funding for the school in a long time ago when we was still kind of thought maybe it could actually be a thing.
$2 million.
Right. He lost a few $1 million because he was messing with the conscious stripper and the conscious, I don't know, did she tell or somebody else told about the stripper? I don't even remember. It was so long ago now.
Yeah, so many more scandals since then. And back then, I was supporting Umar. I said, if you want to get a little love on the side,
that's what I said back then too. I said he's not married.
He just got messy with it. I'm like, hold up, my man.
I said the same thing. I said he not a married man, so that ain't none of my business. You know what I'm saying? If he wanna, do what he gotta do, he gotta do what he gotta do. But he should have been better. But yeah,
here's the contradictions within the movement because he postured himself as a leader, and this goes back to what Gutter was saying about people being polished, and the younger people looking at them because he can talk it, he look it, but he's not representing it properly. You know what I mean? So here he is. He could play the pipe and get people to follow him.
Yeah, but you can't take dudes because he's more polished. Like he'd have been even, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Imagine if that nigga was fit.
Right.
No, I'm just keeping it real, my nigga.
Right.
If he was fit with his eloquence because he know how to talk. He has some facts. He know how to talk. He's charming. Imagine if his fat ass, like if he ain't look like Fozzie Bear, he would have had more people, like, and that be the problem with our people. We all looking for Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, my nigga.
Right.
When like that doesn't have to exist.
Right. Or they could develop that Malcolm or Martin inside of them.
Everybody is that. You just got to use teamwork.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's the thing. Is you know what I'm saying? We gotta really be on not fucking with people.
And see, that's the beauty of FBA because that's where we at with it right now. We on code, we on standard. Like even when we was at the parade, you know what I'm saying? You didn't see people gyrating half naked, being disrespectful because people got elders and children out there. You seen people acting the way our grandparents always taught us. Act like you got some class and decency. And I ain't gonna front. Them young people in Harlem was lit when they was doing music. They was getting light and all that. Like our culture, the things that we created over here. It was turned up, our music, our vibe, our fashion. And none of it was sexually suggestive. No, not too much gyrating, but a little sexy dancing because our black women are naturally beautiful. But there was an element that seldom gets looked at. You know what I'm saying? Because they always put the criminal element under the microscope, but then they throw everybody under that umbrella of blackness. So whether you're from the continent or the Caribbean or from right here or the UK, if you dark skinned, they're gonna say, "Oh, look at the black people, look at the black people." But a lot of stuff they do ain't necessarily our culture, but they'll act like it's us. But with that parade, with the Freedmen's Parade, you seen the beauty of our folks. No fighting. Nobody got clipped. Nobody never get clipped at the parade.
Mhm.
At least in Harlem, Brooklyn, every year you like, yo, who gonna get laid down? And it's not us, but they'll say it's us.
Yeah, it's like Brooklyn a different animal though.
Like, yeah, that's true. But I'm talking about the parade in itself.
Like I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Is like the only time that I can't even remember a time, my nigga. I'm gonna be honest.
That nobody got clipped, right?
Like at any like that's a rare occasion in the K.
Right, but nothing happens.
But Harlem is that small too. We got to understand Harlem is small. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and people got more familiarity with each other.
Because it's a communal thing. Everybody know what the assignment is.
And then
go ahead. You like our mother used to say, we're gonna go ahead, you're gonna act right.
Yeah, and then plus this is that's like our Mecca too.
Yeah, definitely.
You know even Brooklyn motherfuckers gotta admit it's like
it's best down Harlem. Harlem.
Yeah, culture. Harlem is, you know what I'm saying? You know what you getting. That's Black American culture, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And Brooklyn once was, but of course they're gonna take our whole joint and remix it and put themselves in. That's what it is about this delineation movement, and I don't know why folks are taking it so personal, because now we're not being as ambiguous. We're getting laser focused, because every time we get laser focused and we put a leader as the spokesperson, rather, they get clipped and chipped, and then the movement falls apart. But right here, it's almost like sleeper cells. Ain't no leader, ain't no one person you can pinpoint. It's a code.
Right.
It's a way we live, almost like Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know we go by this book. This is the rules. This is how we moving. So whether you take out TD Jakes or Eddie Wrong or whoever, it's the movement is still gonna move, and that's what we were missing at one point. But we got it back now. We got our footing back because we let too many people in the gate. Like even with Dr. Sukiyana, nobody really pressed them. Well, I'm glad Sister Keisha said Philly pressed them. But in terms of elders, they had private conversations, but never was he approached as a unified front. Like, yo, you misrepresenting us. You know what I'm saying? It's like on the set, gut, if a dude false flagging, he got to get approached. Like, my dude, you misrepresent. Yo, we don't move like you, not even one of us. But people ain't handling it like we used to handle. Dudes couldn't come on your block and hustle. Like, it's certain etiquette that was expected. Yeah.
Yeah, niggas get that put off.
Exactly. And nothing's happened to Umar yet. And when people do at least approach him verbally, not even physically, people run to his aid and his defense. And this is why we constantly being fleeced. So as Sister Keisha said, even in the political arena, you got people that ain't even from here, get our support, jump the line, and then say, all y'all that's been here and been supporting me, y'all don't get nothing. Get out my face. What can I do for you, Mr. Charlie? That's how they move. Whether it was Barack Obama, because we loved it. We was like, yo, first Black president. I was skeptical in the beginning, but I had faith in Black people in America saying, nah, we fought for everything we got, man. Maybe this is a time to get a real right up in the office. But when he got there, he was real wrong. He said, I'm not doing nothing for the Black people. I'm the president of America. It's like, all right, here we go. Here we go. So you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, it ain't going to happen. But we keep seeing this time and time again. People who aren't from the bloodline, people who aren't from the soil, they jump the line, say they represent us, but then misrepresent us. And we got a problem with that. And this is why they're getting approached, But Sister Keisha, I see you put
Press.
something in. I see you put something in the queue. What's this here? We get ready to play.
Umar. Now watch
Oh,
the African chick
this is it.
protecting him, as you said.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh, so you find Sister Keisha quick on the draw with these videos, boy.
You know I don't play with it. This
All
is
right.
at the church in Philly. Hold on.
Exactly how they act. This is why they're killing people in Burkina Faso. Look at the scamming coon. Look at the scamming coon, Umar. Been building a school for 15 years. Look at him, scammer. He literally said he's living off of donations. Look at the scammer. Savage animals, that's what they are. That's why they rape women and charge them rape fees. They rape women and charge them rape fees. Look at them. I'm not a New Yorker. But anyway, this is why they're going into Burkina Faso, killing soldiers and civilians. They steal from them. Look at the scammer. Look at the scammer, Umar. Look at the scammer, Umar. Look at him. I seen your daughter high on TikTok Live. She was with me going high on TikTok Live. Do you care about your daughter, scammer? Do you skip? You're in the right place, scammer. Your daughter is high on TikTok Live. Talking to strangers. Look at Umar the scammer. He joined the great country of Ghana, second highest scammer country in Africa. Look at him. Go ahead, Umar. Go be a daddy to your children. Go raise your kids, Umar.
That was a good place to end it.
Yeah, because the woman who was playing the video, we talked about her too. She's a provocateur. You know, she had her own agenda because one of them Africans loved her up and did her wrong, so now she mad. But that's what you get. That's what you get. You know, you got what you deserve. But again, you know, here this woman, Umar ain't say nothing. He walked into the building, wherever he was going. Who was this woman outside yelling back?
A supporter.
You know what I'm saying? Be quiet. He ain't say nothing while you saying something. But this is how they are, though. Even when I pulled up on him in Harlem, you see what I'm saying? It was these old ass Pan-African women came out and tried to call our shit agent.
Who knew him personally. No, our brother ain't no agent.
Yes. But this is the behavior.
Agents don't live in the community. Agents don't live in the community with their families.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, yeah. And this is the kind of stuff. And I'm glad that sister approached him. And she tried to say that was a New Yorker. It's like, this ain't New York. She's like, I ain't no New Yorker.
Yeah, because of what she saw, we did.
Right. And how we constantly do. Because Umar be sneaking in and out of Brooklyn. In and out. I still haven't seen any videos of him at Nicholas Bookstore either. I wonder what that's about. I got to ask around about that. Or
he ain't going to help nobody else get no donations.
Yeah. I mean, but this is the thing that we're constantly fighting. Everybody know that Black Americans have always been in a constant struggle since we were brought here and enslaved here. And, you know, all of the things that has happened to us, we've constantly resisted. That's our legacy. That's our lineage. We fight everything, foreign and domestic. And to see people come in the name of the movement is disrespectful and it's disheartening. And we need everybody to start calling out these fakes. Like I said about Polite, I called Polite out years ago. Once I saw that he wasn't an official dude, he just act like he is at the gatherings. You know, it's all palms and teeth when everybody around each other. But then you get behind closed doors, you disrespect women, you harm children, and you know we all stand against that. Why would you even do that? You playing in the lion's den when you do that. But then everybody wants to protect these people who's causing harm. We can blame white people all we want, but if we don't get rid of the enemy within our house, we just as bad. And Umar is one of them enemies because he's robbing from people. Keep calling himself a doctor with no office, a principal with no school. He got a bando he don't even got the keys to. Come on, cut it out, Umar. Got anything you want to add to that?
No, not really.
Nah.
Quasi Bear antics again. Got a goofy ass shirt on.
Yeah.
Like, he look his usual dusty self. I mean, that's what I mean. It's like him. That dude is a bozo. So yeah, it's not too much you can add. It's like it's just all bad for him.
Yeah. And I'm mad at Charlamagne and them for not giving the pushback, because Umar did say on his previous Breakfast Club he not coming back until the school is open. And that was years ago. And he's back and the school ain't open, and he still got his hand out wanting more donations. And he's fudging the numbers on how much he's collected. I'm like,
that's how you got to look at these dudes. You know what I mean? You look at, they boss.
Yeah.
Charlamagne is a step and fetch it.
Exactly. And now, just so y'all know, on the OG Wisdom podcast, like I said before, stay true to who y'all are. The Breakfast Club got bought by Netflix. They have no control over their social media platforms. None. They can't post nothing without Netflix permission. So again, you know, who's doing better? Y'all or Breakfast Club? Y'all, because y'all got full autonomy.
Right. We can talk about them.
They sold completely out to Netflix. Even Jess Hilarious don't have control of her content anymore. She got to come up with something new now.
Right.
You got to get Netflix permission. It's crazy work.
But this is something we talked about on this platform a couple of years back when we first kicked off. You know, I said with rappers and all of these entertainers getting into the podcast space now, where does that leave us? Where does that leave the narrative for Black America and Black people? Because all it takes is for the big corporation to come out, buy these people, and then they once again control the narrative like we see right now. So now they pretty much, all of these dudes signing to Netflix pretty much got a gag order. We got to pay.
You got to remember.
He wasn't doing that, no way.
Even doing hip hop, still had the underground, and the underground still flourished.
That's us. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yes, sir.
The during slavery, you still had Black people underground doing shit. So
that's a fact.
We always got some shit that's gonna be under the radar, but still important and people are going to fuck with.
And FYI, we still take donations though and sponsorship though. Just ain't gonna shut us up. That's it. Well,
right.
We can use the bread. Let's be clear.
By all means.
We can use every. We ain't gonna buy our silence, but we can take a few M's.
No, we take that bread. You know what I'm saying? It's just gonna be in our favor.
That's right.
Anything come up, fuck yeah.
That's right. Don't think we don't want no money now.
Yeah.
OG Wisdom, Third Black Talk. We take money now.
It
got to be equitable. It got to be equitable.
Yo, Gutter. That thing has been going crazy viral. Finesse 2 times. Yo, everybody do a remix.
Yo, that is my favorite thing.
Every time I see what I think of Gutter.
I told you
that's my favorite thing.
He's hilarious, my
man. Gutter put me onto it a couple of weeks back.
Hilarious. Like, bro, that shit had me crying on the
when they put it on the James Brown.
I plays that. Like anytime I just feel like laughing, I goes in my videos and plays that. Because that's the whole story. He said, I thought I was doing something.
It's actually kind of sad.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. It's funny, but this is real shit.
He's dead serious. He's dead ass.
Dead. I ate syrup sandwich, bitch.
Cereal?
Oh, he's like, yo, like, you know.
I never heard nobody pronounce milk like that.
I'm doing shit what, you know, in a broke household would do. And you got the nerve to tell me don't buy, your son don't eat none of this fake shit.
Yeah.
And the look around though.
Right.
On the side. He said, it still ain't registering to me. Hey, syrup sandwich, bitch. soup,
noodles, no packet,
cereal with the canned milk,
dry milk,
powdered milk,
no,
no milk, waffles, no syrup, jelly, no jelly, nothing. Then he broke down, yo. He said, all you got to do is put the seasoning salt on it. Yo, he said, seasoning, yo, that shit had me.
Yo, every time I see,
I lived in Tunica, bro. So I know the exact accent, my nigga. That shit had me crying. That shit had me flashing back so bad. That shit had me screaming. Screaming. You know it, bro. I know for a fact in school he was the class clown, my nigga.
Yeah.
He was the class clown because he gonna explain everything in them funny ass ways, and the teacher gonna be mad. You know what I'm saying?
And he ain't even trying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He dead serious.
He is so serious.
Like to bring it full circle. Check this out. You've seen so many Pan-African spaces that will raise funds to help the people in Africa, but nothing to raise funds to help the people in the Delta of Mississippi. Ever. It's not even considered.
That's a fact.
Now, how the hell is that Pan-Africanism? I'll land there.
Yeah, well, a lot of it, sis, I see is anti-Black behavior, even in the Pan-African, when folks are celebrating that, oh, the U.S. is not acknowledging the reparations, so now what y'all going to do? I thought that was so disingenuous. And it was revealing of what your character is and who you truly are, that you're going to celebrate your quote-unquote brothers and sisters not getting recognized or compensated.
But this is the thing.
What they thought was that anyway.
Right.
This is the thing. Like, we already know is no country is trying to give up no fucking bread.
Right.
Like, Black Americans know this, been knowing this. Not saying that you're not going to still fight. You know what I'm saying? Then on another thing, like I said, these countries ain't even exist. Ghana, Nigeria, none of these modern countries existed at that time. So how can you ask America, which didn't exist at those times, for anything?
It's greed. It's greed. It's greed. And one
because they're the largest larger economic power. Yeah, we understand that. Like I said, the people in Ghana already been protesting these greedy motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? It's all these governments that corrupt, that's fucking their people up.
Yeah.
But it's people that look like them. So you can't be mad at nobody else. You got to be mad at them. Take care of them.
Yeah,
run
take care of your peoples.
Yeah, run them niggas out. You know what I'm saying? We doing our part.
Yeah. And one of the things about us fighting over here, though people, because there's a lot of people who don't believe that we will receive reparations. I believe we can. I believe we will. Because it's not that they don't have it.
We will.
It's been the approach, the way we fought, the strategy.
How you get it?
Because if it wasn't for us fighting, we still be in the cotton fields. We still be on them sugar plantations if we didn't fight. So, you know, there's a point in time where people didn't believe it. And even after the quote unquote emancipation, we still had them laws and we fought against them laws. You know, so I really believe in our zeal, our ability to fight and win, you know, and it'll be a long road, you know, like even for the civil rights movement, the civil rights, you know, Dr. King didn't live long enough to enjoy it. You know what I mean? All of his life was segregation. All of his life. We don't know what that is. We have an idea because our communities are segregated. You know what I'm saying? There's certain neighborhoods we don't go to, and certain people didn't come to this neighborhood.
It's a natural thing that we done learned from our recent ancestry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We learn, all right, you go over there, you in danger.
Yeah.
Like I definitely like living in Mississippi. You know,
certain places you don't go.
You not going. You know what I'm saying? Even though my mom's was wild, bro. My mom used to take us.
She wasn't scared of them, right?
Bro,
you wasn't scared
of
them.
know, and my mom's used to have the ratchet in the car. I didn't know as a youngster, but later on I learned, all right. You know what I'm saying? When I found out my mom's had the burners and all that. She had more than one burner. You know what I'm saying?
Do you sneak them out the crib, Gutter?
Yeah, facts. That's why I end up becoming a gun fanatic. Keep it real.
My brother used to do the same thing. Soup used to do the same shit.
Steal my mom's gun, take that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Steal my sister, because my sister had a boyfriend. This is my sister's like in like a senior in high school. She had a boyfriend. He gave her a shotgun. Oh, I said, steal that and go out. She chilly to practice, band practice, and all that shit. I got the ratchet. I got the ratchet in the woods, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing.
Somebody act stupid.
Nah, I'm just playing with them. Like it ain't you. It's nothing. Like I'm in Mississippi, so if anything, I'm shooting at an animal or a turtle.
Okay,
or shit like that. I ain't like thinking about no humans. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that I was just fascinated with guns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then it just didn't help that I had a fucked up temper. So that ain't, that wasn't a good meshing. But,
right.
Yeah, but like, my mom would take us, bro. We used to be going camping and all that. I was just take us camping in Arkansas, my nigga, in the Ozarks. Now think about it. The shit you read and see the shit, the Ozarks is nothing but yakkers. We camping in the Ozarks and shit like that.
Let me ask you, Gutter, when you was out there with your moms, did you ever get confronted by white folks? Like, what y'all doing around here? Or did they just look at y'all and leave y'all be?
Yeah, like, bro, dead ass, like, we'll get looks and shit like that. But I don't know, for some reason, my mom's had, I think my mom's had that look like, don't mess with this black lady.
Right.
Because it was just us, it was just me, my sisters, and my mom. I'm the baby.
Yeah.
So it's, you know what I'm saying? They like, probably if they went in the store, they probably said something. I ain't in the store with my mom's, so I probably don't know. You know what I'm saying? But with me witnessing, nah. Like stares and looks and mean looks, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I had that look in Pennsylvania as an adult. I went to get some gas one day. All eyes was on me. We went to get some gas, and Gutter. Everybody had on camouflage. All camouflage. It's like, yeah, get your gas and keep moving, homie.
Bro, that's why I hated the trucker hat style.
Because that's what they used to wear?
That's all them white boys used to wear down there, bro. Them nasty ass foam front trucker hats.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's all them white boys used to wear down there.
Dudes named Jeb and Bubba.
No, you had a few, but you know what I'm saying? It's like they had, real white boy names. Chad and Wilbur and shit like that. Real white boy. Wilbur. But yeah, like that's why I hated trucker hats. Like I never liked it. Like I hate that style because them white boys, like that was like they number one thing, and them tight ass dirty t-shirts.
Yeah. Oh man,
bro, like literally, you see how they show the prototypical, the redneck hillbilly. You know what I'm saying? From down, yeah, that was a regular
overalls and all that.
That was a regular, bro. No, not the overall, but the jeans, the dirty t-shirt that be cut off. They having holes in it, and they got the pot belly hanging out the t-shirt and all that. Yeah, bro, on the regular.
It reminds me of something Dick Gregory said before.
So that's why I think them characters come from. Is they just went to the Mississippi and Tennessee and Arkansas Delta and just saw the white folks around there. It's like, yeah, these is the dumbest crackers in the world. So this is how, yeah.
Yeah, something Dick Gregory said. He said, you see the white people on TV, it ain't like the white people in real life. He said he ain't never seen no white people look like the ones on TV.
Nah, I know. Clean. The
Yeah.
fuck.
Well,
The
look, they said
was having money was dirty.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because you see these A-list actors don't wash.
My nigga.
That's a real thing.
I used to be in school and this when I was living in Cleveland. It used to be weird to me because they used to be funky, but they got on polo, polo Azar, they got the fucking the khakis, they got polo khakis and all that. They got the boat shoes with no socks. They used to be funky as shit, but they got all the I used to be like,
stuff.
Yeah, I was just like, yo, man, y'all musty as a motherfucker. It's like, yo, what is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like they had but they bro, all right, Cleveland, it was like a little section of Mississippi, like the little whites was the business owners and all that. It wasn't I didn't know no real poor whites from over there, broke, because they would have been living on our side.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no in that town, at least when I was living there, it wasn't no brokies. All the brokies would have been going to East Side High and all that. I went to Margaret Green Junior High School. You know what I'm saying? That's a joint that went at that's all mixed with all the white kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and they used to be funky as a motherfucker. I used to be like, yo.
Yeah, but we got about 15 minutes left. I think we get ready to wrap it up. Sister Brooke, in terms of reparations, right, and what happened with the UN and Ghanaian president, where's the movement gonna go now?
We're gonna continue with what we've been doing, which is send those emails to our legislators regarding our bill for disaggregation and delineation. And we're going to continue what we've been doing. And this is why, because the U.S. Freedmen Project has been working on this for about 5 or 6 years now. 5 years, I want to say. I think he said that this is their 50th anniversary. So, what Ghana is doing right now is all in response to the different movements that we've had going on here between California, CJEC in California, and what we're doing here in New York. They're just trying to, as Keisha says all the time, they're just trying to lean on the work that we have already been doing. And so what they start doing means not a hill of beans to us. They are irrelevant. And they matter not in the grand scheme of things. And we will ignore them like we've been doing because they don't mean shit to us. And so I just wanted to say, when we were down there at the burial ground, or when other people were at the UN, where were the American Ghanaians to protest their government? And what they're doing to them over in Ghana? How come they weren't protesting? When the lady, the lady who wanted to make it all about other people, she was talking about what Ghana is doing to Burkina Faso. Where were the Burkina Fasoans to protest about what the Ghanaian president is doing? Nowhere to be found. So I don't know what they're doing in their prospective countries as far as fighting against their government, because I ain't there and I really don't give a fuck. But I know what they're doing here, and it is not a goddamn thing. They were all wearing Ghanaian t-shirts at the gymnasium with what's that comedian name?
Godfrey.
No, African Mike. What's his name?
Michael Blackson.
Mother sucker. Yeah, black Michael Blackson. They was all sitting in there listening to jokes. They wasn't doing nothing, no work. They wasn't confronting their leader about the child slavery they got going over there. They wasn't talking about nothing. They were sitting in there with t-shirts on, looking like Black Americans, doing their best Black American impressions with their Ghanaian t-shirts on, pretending to try to cosplay as us. But then you ain't fighting over nothing. So I just wanted to leave people with that. Where were they? Nowhere to be found. And then I just wanted to also leave people with this as well. When you guys were talking about the people that we're calling, right? I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'll start with this movie. There's this movie called Coco. I don't know if anybody has ever seen this movie before. I know it's a kids movie, right? So you might not have seen it. But in the movie Coco, right, you had to have a picture of your ancestor on the veranda, right? Or on the fireplace, right? And if you had a picture of your ancestor on the fireplace, then the Day of the Dead, your ancestor would be able to cross over and visit this side, right? And so and they couldn't come if nobody here remembered them, right? And through the religion of Pan-Africanism, we have been pouring libations and giving honor and praise to the wrong ancestors. That is why we have been getting the backbiting, scamming, scheming, charlatan energy that we have been getting, because those are the ancestors that we have been praising, honoring, pouring libations to, and leaving gifts for. We have been sitting there talking about all of these Africans, the very same people who sold that 1% into slavery in the first place, right? But now the energy is changing, because through people doing that genealogy work that you guys used to talk about back in the day before you were even using the word genealogy, that you guys were talking about finding out who your people are, right? In layman's term, finding out who your people are and calling those names. We are calling names in this realm that have not been spoken in hundreds of years, 200 years, 300 years, 400 years. And that is why I believe we are getting the ancestral connection, the ancestral help that we have been getting thus far, because we are finally calling the fighters, the people who fought, the people who survived, the people who, you know what I'm saying, who saw a future in this country and saw our future in this country. You know, there are very many people when other people come here, they are constantly trying to tell us, you know, that they're focusing on the now. Our ancestors used to always focus on the future, always focus on the next generation, always try to better the race. You know what I'm saying? What's her name? Frances Cress Wilson always talking about how her father was a race man. You understand what I'm saying? And so these were things that we were constantly focused on. So now these are the ancestors that we're calling. And so continue to do your genealogy work, and don't let nobody else con you into you giving them your ancestry and your information, because they trying to tell you that they got to verify you. You don't need nobody else to verify you. You verify yourself with your own genealogy work. Then the last thing I wanted to say is that when you guys were talking about, you know, white people being different than they were on TV. See, I didn't grow up in the South. I grew up right in Brooklyn, but I grew up, my very next door neighbors, you know how in East Flatbush, the houses, two houses that be together, and in the driveway, my very next door neighbors were white. They were the last white people left, you know, after, you know, the white flight, right? Lord have mercy. Them was the dirtiest, ghetto is white. White trashiest people you ever, you know what I'm saying? There was rumors of incest. You know what I mean? We had to constantly keep vermin and other critters from coming on our side of the building. You understand what I'm saying? And you could hear through the walls, hear the screaming and yelling and cursing through the walls. So I think, and in my opinion, I really believe that shaped me, and that's why I never had white saviors, because I always, from the time I was born, I seen the worst of the worst of white folks. You know what I'm saying? And how they could never be better than me. You could never be better than me. You know what I mean? While my mom was, you know, was like a Claire Huxtable minus the law degree. You understand what I'm saying? My mom was like a Claire Huxtable, and you know, she stayed at home, and we lived in a private house, and you understand what I'm saying? So like when we looked at them folks, we was just like, no. So, you know, I definitely understand where you're coming from, even though I did not grow up in the South. And they stank too. They stank. They didn't wash. They didn't. They was just nasty. Yeah, they was just nasty, and you know,
listen,
it was a crazy situation.
That really be with black people all the time is going to tell you that's who taught them how to clean up and bathe and all that shit.
I'm sure.
Tell you that. They'll tell you that, yo, I hang up that. Before that, I wasn't doing that. The motherfuckers wasn't washing their head.
I've seen videos of them saying that.
Yeah.
They just feel like as long as they put shampoo in their hair, just let it slide on down.
In no black family house spending the night and you ain't washing your ass. That's first things first. And they're gonna get a rag and all that. Like, cause you know, this is the thing is like when you got them poor whites down south that they stuck in the hood. They can't move out the hood.
Right.
That's why a lot
Same
of them
thing with this white family
talking like that. Yeah, that's because they get enculturated into our culture and they be different. You know what I'm saying? You get the white boy that all these motherfuckers rapping, talking just like us and all that. 9 times out of 10, they grew up, majority of their neighborhood is black kids. They family taught their ass how to wash their ass, how to clean up, and all that. They learn how to dress from black people. You already know that. But their families is the one that teach their ass how to bathe and all that. Because you ain't coming in no black family house. On the weekend, you come to spend the night. Oh, you already know what you doing.
They didn't spend the night at our house.
Change your clothes. But you know, a dude to have his friend, dudes ain't looking at race, you know what I'm saying, down south.
No, I hear you.
Because you stuck with us. You a nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's how dudes, like, that's how a lot of Southern people view black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you stuck with us. You a nigga. They don't care about you.
Yeah.
Anytime you go around, they're going to look at you like, oh, you be around them niggas. So now you just a nigga.
I think that's where it was a little different for us. Because he said, he called my cousin.
Oh, nah. Any one of them was getting their ass.
Yo, my cousin nearly beat his ass.
No.
My mother had to be like, whoa.
Like, now, we had a family that was like that, and they got whooped out on a regular basis. Like, they was the dirty family and then they that got beat up on a regular basis because they're gonna say some shit. Moms and everything that got whooped out. Like, literally, mom, that's where they got it from. Like, they mom, you playing with them niggas? Oh my God. Lady from across the street went.
Mama could get it too.
Beat the brakes off that lady in that yard, dragged her.
Woo!
Wow.
Love it.
Yeah, that like, bro, like people get a wrong misconception of the South too. You know what I'm saying? Like, like scared of white. Nah, my nigga. Roots came out. White people wasn't coming outside. Like the kids wasn't coming out. They was getting their ass whooped. I was little. You know what I'm saying? Roots came out. What? My nigga. White kids in Tunica, Mississippi, my nigga. White kids was getting whooped out, my nigga. Niggas is going because it wasn't much in Tunica to do, but we coming out of school, you come out of Rosa Ford, you walk up Highway 61, any white person they was catching, like the older kids, going in the store and shit, they was beating their ass.
Mr. Kunta Kinte.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they were saying, my nigga. That's exactly what they were saying.
Oh, man.
This for beating their ass.
Yeah. It's almost 4 o'clock, y'all. We running out of time. Sister Keisha, what's your final words you want to leave the people with?
Keep learning your story, your family story. As Brooke said, don't be falling for these scams. And people ask you for all your data and information. Farnessa is in the chat. She took my genealogy class, and I didn't ask nobody for none of their information. I just taught them about resources that they can use to find their family's history and story. It's very, very important that you do that because it changes the perspective on how you see things. Some good, some bad, and some great. But continue to study who you are. And, you know, there's a show You can catch some episodes on YouTube. I don't like to promote things, but it's called Relative Race. And you watch that show, Relative Race, and it will draw you closer to wanting to find your family story. So you can use that as well. So just enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe and stay dangerous at the same time. And catch us every Thursday, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Thorough Black Talk Worldview.
All right. Gutter, what you want to leave the people with?
Have a lovely week. Stay black, stay blessed.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, family. That brings us to the closing of this show. We want to thank everybody who rocked out with us. You know, too many people to name, all the usual suspects, but I definitely want to give a shout out to the other platforms that are holding it down. It's too many to name as well, but we definitely appreciate everybody who's putting in the work and the effort to delineate, you know, and make sure our story gets told properly by us and not by nobody else. Shout out to everybody who support the movement, support what we're doing over here. We truly appreciate it because this isn't just for us. This is for our bloodline. This is for the children that have not yet been born. So we truly thank y'all. So hopefully you inspired by something you heard here today. Should turn to God and inspire others. So y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true, and we catch y'all next week. Peace.